Hey guys, welcome to this episode of Jack's Business Talk. Today we are doing the Western PA accountability meeting and doing it in typical style. One of the things I want to start off with is doing the classic Dion where we talk for a little bit and then we go from there. But I thought it might be a good idea for this time, since Cynthia is able to join us, to go ahead and have her talk about what our one of our very I'm sorry, I'm having trouble dealing with the echo.
Do you want me to relocate?
No, it'd be easier if I do. So anyway, I thought it'd be a good idea for us to start with one of our worst places that we've ever done, that we've seen, and we can talk about. Ooh, I'm so washed out. So anyway, I thought we would talk about one of the worst properties we've ever seen in our lives, and we would go from there on today's stream, if that's okay with everyone.
Yeah. Well, good with me.
All right, so I saw, I forget how big the portfolio was. What was it, like 20 units or something ridiculous?
I thought it was more than that because it was three different buildings, right? Was it three buildings?
Three buildings. I think one was a 10-plex. I forget what the second one was, maybe another 10-plex. And I think the last one was a duplex. We saw the first two, and we never even went to the third one. It was so bad that we bailed on this poor guy. He obviously had pride in what he did, but he didn't have the funding, and I think sometimes the knowledge to actually pull off what he did. So we walk into the first place, okay, and he's saying, "Oh yeah, these people here, they'll rent anything. They'll rent anything." He literally had, okay, in the very attic, he's like, "You can get two more apartments out of this easy." And he was trying to sell us on two more additional apartments where they were going to have to share the bathroom upstairs. And it's like, well, then it's not a single family all in one apartment. Like it's more of a pad split up there. It's like that's not going to fly. And it wasn't close to being done. And some of those people in the first one, you felt bad for. This one guy, it seemed like all he had in his life was his poor cat as his friend, but it smelled like an ashtray. And the first building honestly wasn't that horrible from my recollection. But the second building, we still make fun of the second building to this day. And what was it, like 4 years ago? No, 3 years ago we saw it.
No, I think it was longer than that. I want to say this was like 4 or 5 years ago at least.
Okay.
But the first building, I mean, I thought they were all bad. Honestly, they were all really bad. So, yeah, bad enough that I had to make myself a mocktail for my PTSD when you asked me about this, because I think I put these buildings far out of my mind. They're nuts better. But yeah, that very first building, just so much, very rundown, and it was the best.
Yeah, it was
Well, we
rundown.
only saw two of the buildings, but it was very rundown. Even a lot of pieces of the flooring, like they had wooden flooring that was just missing and chipped, and like just a lot of pieces edging that was like things that weren't done. Like the floor wasn't even like to the edge of the room where the subflooring was showing in a lot of the places, and just everything from the walls cracking to the ceiling coming down. And I honestly, I my poor take on this entire thing, that I think it's really a shame that there are people that have to live in places like this, really. Um, but the second, I mean, it was livable, but it was subpar. I don't think there was any unit in there that was really done very well. Like you said, the attic, where when he said they were turning that into two more apartments, I could not even visualize that. because he was talking about how they were going to get plumbing up there, and there wasn't even electric to the entire thing. I remember him using flashlights to show us certain areas, and as I recall, there was no heating that was going up there, and they were going to fix it so the heat would drift up from the downstairs apartments. And especially when he said that they would share a bathroom, that was, if you were going to have two families up there sharing one bathroom, and there wasn't even plumbing, like the way he was explaining they were going to do the plumbing, it's just like didn't make sense even.
Basically, he's going to have the plumbing go down into the bathroom below it and connect into it that way.
Wow.
And they were
So
very, very small apartments too. When he said there were whole families, some of these had entire families living in them with 4 or 5 people. And I mean, some of them were barely 400 square feet.
there were some, Stephen, like the bedroom, like the apartments that they want us to want that they were talking about building upstairs was kind of like what you have right now with your wall in it right now.
Holy
Like,
crap. And
yeah, they
that
were.
was 4 people living in there.
Well, that's what they're turning into, an apartment with something that size. And it's like, this is ridiculous.
Jeez. Yeah. Wow.
So then on the second building, okay, we get there.
That's where the nightmares begin.
Yeah, this is
uh,
the stuff that mentally scarred us.
yeah.
We get in there. The first unit was okay. The person, what he was nice. Uh, he had some cats. His world just revolved around his cats. Very Christian based person. And then we go into the second one, and they're bragging about we have the cleanest apartment in this building.
Oh boy.
And we then found out why they're bragging about it. We go into the third unit. The person hears us coming in, and I forget what exactly they're saying. I wasn't really necessarily in earshot, but they're yelling something like, "Slide me the trash can!" like from the bathroom.
Oh no.
Yeah, like they were hungover or something. And Cynthia was just like, "You can get it yourself," and we raced out of that one.
Oh, jeez.
And
That's not a good sign already.
what was it? Then they took us up on the roof. We saw roaches on the roof. Roaches don't like sunlight. They don't like a white roof. It was like one of those rubber roofs. So it's like, can you imagine how many roaches are probably in this place if they're crawling
On the
out
roof.
onto the roof to get away from whatever's inside the building? And then they
So
take us into another unit, and it's like a few piece of box furniture things shy of just being a straight up track unit. It,
Oh man.
it was dark and dingy. That they had furniture that looked like it got pulled out off the streets on garbage day. She was
Jeez.
like she was all like tweaking and stuff, and I'm just like, I was like, are we gonna get shanked by a needle in this one? And then we get to, I don't know if there's, oh, another guy answered the door naked, and then
Oh.
cream of the crop, the last one, okay, the last units, okay,
Yeah.
we go in, and at this point we're already kind of like so beyond traumatized with this place, and we just want to get out. Like we're just walking through, going, uh-huh, yeah, yeah, looks great, yeah, just
yeah,
keep moving so the bugs don't stick to you. Like
yes.
it,
Well, we
it
noticed everywhere that we went in the hallways, they had the dust and the sprays for bed bugs. So you could tell like the every apartment looked like it was being treated regularly. So seeing that is
Mm.
like I didn't want to look around too much. It's like let's move very quickly through these. And I know the one that Jack is about to talk about, and this one was the cream of the crop. But right before we went to this one, they took us to one of the level where there was no carpeting in the place, and they had there were 3 apartments up there, and they were all I don't even know what that was, peel and stick floor or what it was, but it
I think
reminded
it
me of
was.
school, like an old, like where science rooms were in the elementary school. It just
Mm.
they looked it was very bizarre looking that the entire thing, even the way the showers were and stuff. It was just it didn't look like they should have been apartments. And they were very minimalist, the people that were in this. I mean, the one lady didn't even have furniture. She was like sitting on a rug on the floor. Um, and just have
Oh
really like
wow.
nothing in the apartment. One of them was completely empty and had like all kinds of chemical sprays and stuff for roaches and bed bugs. And so we went through these two apartments and then the empty one up there right before we walked into the one that Jack is about to talk about. So he'll tell you about some things he noticed that I really didn't even, shockingly, I didn't even see because I was so worried about looking at the floor for bed bugs and roaches that I wasn't
Yeah,
even looking around at the things in the apartment. So, Jack,
Before
you
I could
can tell them what you saw.
this is gonna be
before
good.
I continue, we had someone else jump on. Hey Andy, so right now we're talking about our worst building we've ever viewed, and we're doing kind of like Dion does, where we start off with a little story or something, and we open it up for questions and stuff. But just so you know, this is being recorded, and it will probably be posted on YouTube at some later date.
Okay, sounds good.
Just want to give you a heads up.
No problem. Thank you.
Uh-huh. So the very last unit that we saw, it had the most beautiful tile work, for the shower and stuff. But it was getting to the bathroom. So you walk in. I think it was just a bedroom and like this bathroom, okay? And we go in and we look at it, and there's a bag of stuff in the shower. Cynthia makes the comment to me. She's like, "Is that a head in the bag, or is that wet tiles?" I was like, "If we don't confirm it, then we can't confirm or deny."
Smart.
And we get back in the vehicle after it's all said and done, and she's like, "I can't believe people would live like that. Like that was completely disgusting. That especially that last one." I was like, "Yeah." I was like, what about the two pans of the stuff on Breaking Bad?"
Oh boy.
And she was like, "Where was that at?" I was like, "On the nightstand, right next to the naked woman." I was like, and she's like, "Where was the naked woman?" I was like, "In the bed." I was like, "You didn't see her? She said hi. How's your day going?"
Oh
So
wow.
She,
I saw the pipes there, but I didn't see like the meth and the cooking stuff. So I saw the crack pipe and the crack, and they had some marijuana and stuff there, but I didn't see the meth in the packets and stuff too. It's like holy heck. And totally, I mean, like I said, I was looking at the floor. I didn't want to take anything home. I'm like holding my pant legs up, I was busy looking at the floor where I was walking. So again, we didn't step on any type of needles, get any bugs that I did not even notice that the lady that was talking to us was topless. Ugh.
Yeah.
But there was one unit also where when we got there, the guy that wanted us to look at the unit, the guy that was living there, did not allow shoes in his apartment. He asked us to take our shoes off, so we did not go in there. We actually just had him open the door, looked in, and called it a day because I wasn't walking anywhere in that building without shoes on.
and that's the story of our worst unit.
Yeah.
So
So we were actually supposed to look at a third building with the guy, and as I believe the guy that was showing us this stuff, he worked for the owners and he was a partner with them as well. I think there were three different people that owned the buildings together, and he was the only one that was actually doing any maintenance on them and trying to do the upkeep with them. So when he was ready to get us to the third building, we actually called him en route and we're just like, no, we don't need to see it.
Oh man. Yeah.
we went
I,
home, we both got showers, and we burned our clothes.
I mean, better be safe than sorry. Yeah, because that seems kind of gross. Not gonna lie.
All right, so now that we got a few minutes into this, let's go ahead and open it up for everyone else. Andy, you're the newest one here. You want to talk about yourself and what you're. I saw you in the school community.
Yeah. So, like I said, I've got one rental right now that I'm renovating. And I think we talked in the accountability group there the other day. My goal was to get the insulation hung up in it, and I was able to get probably 85% of it done yesterday. So before I got
Okay,
called in,
cool.
so we're getting ready to have some good storms here hit us. We're gonna have a little bit in the morning, and then looks like a dandy one hitting us Sunday. So my weekend's pretty well shot. With I'll probably work a little bit Saturday, but yeah, I'm pretty going just going to try to hang out and get ready for the storm. Looks like I'll probably be there for a day or two. So
Where's your unit at? Is it
it's actually right next door to me. It was a family member's house, and we was able to acquire it. And it was built in I think 1996, so it's not it's almost 30 years old.
okay?
Nice.
Got a we just had a new roof put on it probably 2 years ago, and we just put a new furnace in it. And right now we're like I said, it ended up with the guy that built the house. It's partially under. It's like built into a bank, so three walls of it are built into a bank. So they call them here an underground house. Some
Hmm.
people call them a earth house, but the front's exposed, so you can walk around the backside of it, and the the drip edge is probably, I don't know, waist high. So I mean,
Okay.
you can access the roof pretty easy. But like I said, we got a new roof on it. Doing some insulation work. The walls, when it was built, they run the water pipes in through the walls, and they didn't insulate it. The guy said where it was a earth house or underground, it didn't need insulation. Well, yeah, it needed insulation. So it actually had probably 4 or 5 water breaks. And
Oh,
so as once we acquired it, we just we pulled the drywall. The drywall was kind of soft in a couple areas, and once I pulled it back and seen what was going on, we just ripped. We just gutted it. So so
so
we're
are you still able to keep up with your budget and stuff, or did that completely just blow it?
well. I wouldn't say we had a budget to begin with. We've owned the house now for probably, let's see, it's 20. Well, it's 25 now. We've had it now for about 6 years, and was really not financially set at that point in time. Uh, we was just ruthless with our money. I mean,
Hmm.
so then once we finally got the last 2 years, we really kind of deep dived into the Dion minority mindset, Zuber stuff, and was able to get our heads on straight. And I have a good job. Make 6 figures, and it's we just was careless with it. You know what I mean? Because I grew up we never had a lot, but we mom and dad always made sure we had plenty. But once it was never how much, it was how much a month. So once we got past that, we grew up. So now, like I said, we're doing better, and really going forward with this. Like I said, I got about 8 years until I can probably retire. I work for a local government job, so trying to get that all done, and I'd like to really get the rentals going in the next 8 years or so. So then that way, when I can actually retire with my my W-2 job, then we can get my wife out of here hopefully in the next 2 or 3 years. I hope.
So would you say that your overall goal is for a better retirement or for a just to be completely independent from a W-2?
Probably a little both. If I could go sooner, I would. Uh, Obviously, we're looking at. I never really looked at out of state investing much. Well, I shouldn't say out of state. We looked at some stuff in West Virginia, and still looking down there. It's within an hour from us where we're kind of looking at. And so yeah, I would like to. I'd really like to get my wife retired first. Is
Mhm.
is what my goal would be.
Sounds
Yeah,
like an
that's
awesome
kind.
plan.
Yeah, that's kind of my honestly my goal is I'm trying to get Cynthia in or out of where she's at first before I really worry too much about myself. That way she can
He
also
doesn't
manage
want to
the
hear
book.
me complain anymore. That's why.
Nothing. Mom ain't happy, ain't nobody happy.
It's not so much that. It's just she's better at different things that I can do on a part-time basis and keep moving forward. Like she's better at the book. She's better at making policies and procedures. She's better at doing a lot of the behind the scenes type of work that I'm just not good at. And
Right.
in order for her to be able to really focus on that, I need her out of her job.
Right.
Yeah.
That's kind of the
We
same
have this
with my
this
wife.
difficulty too, though, because I do really well with my W-2 job as well, and that's where really I gained all the skills that I have for this.
Right. So yeah, that's kind of the same boat I'm in with my wife. She does that stuff, managing stuff like that is a whole lot. She does it a whole lot better than I do. Book works,
Yeah,
but I
that's
deal
why
with a lot of. I
sorry, go
deal with a
ahead.
lot of. No, I'm sorry. I deal with a lot of contractors every day too, so I don't. I kind of enjoy that stuff and like seeing projects completed and hands on. I like to do a lot of hands on work too. But that's the other thing for me. It's getting. I'm interested in the out of state. Like I said, we was within an hour away, but obviously, like Mark was saying the other day, like he was in Hawaii and invested in Pittsburgh, and he's like, talking about that a little bit, and it's like I'm just a little nervous with that yet. I'm a little gun shy.
Well, there's definitely a lot of people in the ORAC community that do out of state investing and can always help out.
Yeah, they seem to be pretty helpful about it, and it looks like there's I would say more higher percentage maybe of the people that's commenting than maybe the people that's not commenting. But I'm pretty well an open book too. Like I'm not shy about things, so I'll pretty well talk about you know whatever, or if I've made a mistake, I'm not too backward about it. So, and I've made plenty of them.
Well, that's kind of the point of like my channel is I try to show a lot of the good and the bad and the ugly because I don't want people necessarily watching this channel and thinking it's all pixies and roses and glorified rainbows. And no, sometimes the rainbow is held by someone and they're trying to strangle you with it. Like it's not always a happy good time.
Right. I would say my biggest weakness right now would probably be the financial end of it. Trying to learn that aspect of it. Building wise, I can do a lot of that. Excavating, all that stuff. That stuff doesn't bother me, but the that's kind of where I'm at. I'd like to see a little bit more of that from the community. Maybe they talk a little bit more about, um, you know, I know they talk about finances, but it would, there's not a lot that's like me that's willing to admit, hey, I'm struggling with that end of it, trying to learn that, and you're trying to save, and it's tough to save and renovate right now. We're trying to do everything as much as we can out of pocket, and it's you know it's about like that 10-year, where they said it pretty well sucks, and it's like it pretty well does. I mean, because
Yeah.
we're trying to put everything we got into this rebuild. So
Yeah, I definitely enjoy working on stuff too, but I want to get to the point where I just kind of want to stay focused on like doing the bathrooms, the kitchens, and the paint and stuff. I don't even know if I want to do flooring, even though I'm good at it.
right,
It kills my hips, it kills my lower back. I end up walking crippled for like 2 or 3 days afterwards.
I get it. Yeah, I've done several rooms now. The laminate flooring. So what's your guys' goals? Are you? I know, like I said, I'm week and a half into the community, so I'm trying to learn from people. See what their main goal is. Obviously, I've been invited to the Las Vegas thing, but it's not probably going to work for us this year. The timing of it is good timing for a lot of people, but that's always main snow season for us, and that makes it a little tougher for me to get away from my job.
Oh, you run plow trucks.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I work
Oh
for the highway
wow,
department.
that's pretty cool. Yeah, I guess I'll go with my goal. I'm pretty young. I'm 28. Um, I moved here in November, just trying to get financially independent and stuff like that. I was looking in Orlando, Florida, but nothing made sense to buy in Florida. So my job had a office here in Pittsburgh, so I decided to move to Pittsburgh, and definitely made some mistakes on the way. Biggest one was probably not doing my due diligence when it comes to tenant screenings during the contract period or the inspection period, because I had to go through an eviction, and that kind of took a lot of out of me financially. And yeah, so like it just gotten to the point where I was like, I might have to get a second job just to help rebuild the um, safety net of funds, just in case something were to happen again. But yeah, no, I've just been working mostly on the duplex. I had to install some insulation, funny enough, on a ceiling for, I guess, like a storage area, just because it was right above the kitchen, and the kitchen was probably the coldest room in the entire building. But yeah, mostly just right now, just trying to save up money so I can be prepared just in case something were to break. And not only that, but like also to get a down payment for my second property.
Right.
Did you get that space heater put in there?
Yeah, I did. Thank you. That was a good one because it is cold outside, man. But yeah, I got most of the insulation in. Well, actually, all of it, really. It's just no pipes have burst yet, so which is nice. I also insulated the pipes. But yeah, I'm starting to slowly look for a second job and see what happens. But I'm gonna wait until after I go to Vegas.
How many rentals do you have, Jack?
We have 8 currently. I just got a, or so we had an eviction. I'll talk in a second why I bring this up. We had an eviction. Uh, I guess telling it last year. It was a bad story. If you want to jump on my channel and watch the video series on that, it was our first one. I wasn't happy about it. I was hoping that they would come back, and they just didn't.
Right.
But the reason why I bring that up is because I was thinking about installing 2 walls, and I got the quote today. And to get everything done, correctly, they want the first place quoted like about $7,000 or something like that.
Hmm.
And for that price, for the amount of money I'm going to get out of it, I'm not going to put $7,000 into it. I'll fix
Mm.
I'll fix the problems with a few spots and move forward from there, and just take the what is it, like $500 less a month in rent, just so I can get it turned over a lot faster. But and then we have another unit that probably later next year we'll have ready to go. It's a bit of an overhaul type of unit. But
Yeah.
sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
But that unit has 1 run of knob and tube left. We're going to take care of that. We're going to patch the ceiling and stuff, and then we have to get a roof put on that one next year. And then from there, I'm pretty sure it's just install a shower surround, flooring, which I might do some of it just so I can remember the pain and why I hate it so much. But it's like I like doing it, but I can't. But then I regret doing it.
I understand.
But so I'll probably end up doing that. But I saw that Home Depot, it seems like they run a sale all the time where if you buy certain types of carpeting, that the installation's free. And I found out what company does it in the area, and it seems like everyone really likes that company and our work. So I was thinking about just having them carpet what the three bedrooms, the hallway, the stairs, and the living room, and then just LVP the dining room and the kitchen.
Yeah. The house we're doing working on right now, it actually had a concrete slab floor, and
Ooh.
they like an
Wow.
epoxy on it, and it obviously it was always kind of drafty, the house was, but once you got in the walls and seen there was no insulation, that was a big reason. And so I'm I found the Amish group here that they come in and they buff the concrete, and they kind of rough it up, and then they basically do, I can't remember what the name of the, I don't have the business card with me, but they basically do it all in one day, and you pick your collar, and it has like some little bit of roughness to it, so for traction. And so I think we're going to go that route for the whole house. It's 2 bedroom, 2 bath, um, utility rooms in the main bathroom, and open kitchen, living room concept. And so I think we're going to go that route. And then that way, if they want to do an area rug or something, they can do an area rug. But I got mixed emotions on the slab floors, good and bad. I mean, obviously it's more permanent, um, plumbing and all that stuff. It's kind of nice to have some crawl space to work on plumbing, without having it buried in the wall.
Hmm.
But obviously, this is the hand that I was dealt, so that's we're working with this one. And actually, the house that I live in, we had a basement. Uh, it was a manufactured house, and our family grew, so we had to have the extra room. So we moved the house out and dug a basement, had poured concrete walls basement, and then moved the house back over top of it. So that was an interesting time period.
Huh.
Whoa. Yeah.
So we went several years without getting it finished. It's not finished yet, but we can access it and use it. But I'm thinking, we're setting it up right now. We were jumping back and forth. I get bored, I'd work on the other house, and I get bored over there, and I'd work on this house. So I finally had to decide, that one's got to make us money. So I had to, put all my cards in one basket and go that way. But the house I'm living in now, I think we're probably gonna house hack it at some point, and we'll just use it as we'll just list it as like a studio type rental. That way, the bedroom, kitchen will be open, and then obviously you'll have a bathroom and utility room. But I think I'm just going to do a mini split down there. It stays about 65 degrees about year round, so it shouldn't be too bad to heat or cool.
Hmm. That's Cynthia's strategy. That's what she does. Even though we're together, we do different strategies. I do more of the buy and hold stuff. She does live in flips.
Yeah, I actually didn't know it was called house hacking until I got then the last couple of years. I was just
But I'll be honest, like people call a lot of stuff house hacking, and honestly, I kind of wish they would break that topic up. It's like a hodgepodge of different things that they all just throw into house hacking. It's just like, well, doing a remodel as you're living in it can't be the same as living in one of your four units in a
mhm.
fourplex. Like they're just throwing too much stuff, or living in like rent by the room situation. I was trying to think of the other name for it, but like these all can't be categorized as house hacking. It's too much under one category.
Right. The rent by room, that would be challenging for me, I think.
The rent by the room, I have nothing against it, but I mean, I could be wrong, but I just feel like that, Pittsburgh is not necessarily the market for that type of strategy.
Right.
That's something I've been looking into, but like I'm trying to look in other markets for that.
Really? You don't think it would be like good for like hospital nurses or something like that?
I think it'd be good for that, but I think with them cracking down on Airbnb and other midterms and stuff,
Oh, okay.
that it's not going to be a strategy that's going to work too well. That's why when I look at it, I look at different. That's kind of why I wish Harrison was on here because he's the one I've been talking about the most with it. But he's been my head disappeared. We've been looking at Raleigh, North Carolina a lot.
So
No.
I actually work in healthcare, and I can tell you that a lot of those travel contracts, since COVID's been done, those travel contracts have really dried up. So when everybody started doing that, rent by the room and looking for places to
Hmm.
utilize medical staff, like that is dried up now. A lot of people that were being contracted, they're all going and finding full-time jobs now because that money is not there anymore. Those contracts no longer exist.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, and so a lot of the major hospitals that we have here in Pittsburgh, there are already places like that within walking distance of the hospitals because a lot of the doctors that are residents that have to do like a 3-year program in residency, they're
Mhm.
basically on call 24/7 for the hospital. So the hospital actually helps them with renting the apartments that are around there, but they're within 1, 2 blocks of the hospital. And like some of the hospitals are not even in the best areas of town, but they're so super expensive just because of that. Like two of the buildings by one of the hospitals I used to work at were actually schools at one time, so they turned them into schoolhouse apartments.
Wow. Okay. Well, luckily you guys aren't doing that anymore because that would have been quite a shocker to hear. But yeah, I also heard like Allegheny County is supposed to do like a reassessment for taxes this year.
Yeah, I've
So
been trying to get someone on the channel on one of these nights to talk about it, but he's just too busy. I'm thinking about trying to actually talk to an attorney or something like that and just have them come on.
okay. Yeah, because I'm not looking
It,
forward to having my property reassessed.
Me neither. I'm sitting in Allegheny County right now.
Yeah. It's been a while since they had a reassessment, right?
Yeah,
Oh boy. Oh boy.
it's gonna go up a lot.
Our
yours
county,
Stephen shouldn't go up too much. They did an assessment. They should have did an assessment when you bought the place.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, my mortgage payments in which I escrowed taxes into hasn't really changed. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I guess. I mean, I planned for it, but like it hasn't changed because I think like with the after the reassessed value, I think I was supposed to pay like 1,800 a month,
Mhm.
but I'm at 1,500 right now. So I don't know. We'll see.
our county just reassessed last year, so it took a pretty good jump.
Oh, are you in the Western PA, Andy?
No, I'm in Southern Ohio.
Oh,
Okay,
Ohio. Oh, okay.
like near Steuben and stuff.
I am actually close to I'm about 40, I don't know, probably half hour from the Ohio River. Um,
Okay.
just directly, I'm almost directly south from Columbus. Like I can be in Columbus in an hour and 15 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Wow. I hear a lot of people are trying to invest in Ohio now.
Yeah,
Yeah, because
Columbus is booming. It's crazy the growth up there. I actually was kind of looking in that area a little bit, but the properties are like you're basically having the run down. You know what I mean? So you would have to
Mm.
almost kind of do a burr method on them, and a lot of people are doing the burr method up there for that, and they're buying a lot. And like they are changing some neighborhoods up there, which is good. But yeah, I just heard like I don't know how true it is yet, but supposedly there's some big NASA thing coming to Columbus. I haven't seen that yet. I haven't done a whole lot of research on it, but obviously they got Intel uh, up in Licking County, and that's the highway superintendent in Licking County. I talk to him probably monthly, and it's just crazy the amount of money that's going in and up there, and the um, people just investing in it like crazy, and the real estate's just wow. It's a dogfight.
Oh man.
So a couple of years ago, I want to say this maybe about 3, 4 years ago, here in Pittsburgh, we were supposed to have an expansion of Amazon that was coming here. So they did put in an Amazon factory over in Crafton, but they were supposed to put a corporate Amazon office in, and real estate started selling like crazy around here. There were a bunch of even townhouses and stuff they were for rentals that they were putting up, and then Amazon never brought the corporate office here. So we had a lot of vacancies right here at that point where everyone, built all this stuff, top dollar stuff, and then it sat empty because none of those jobs came to Pittsburgh.
Wow.
And they were planning Amazon to come here, like that was supposed to happen. I heard that for 3 years prior to that, and then it just never happened.
I think I see there's Intel plant in Licking County. I think there's a big Amazon up in Columbus. I don't know where it's at for sure, but then like I said, they're talking NASA, and there's uh, another. It's not really a computer chip, but it's like I don't know what you call it, hard mainframe type electronics. I don't really know, but it's bringing in a bunch of jobs. I think there's one down in the south end of Franklin County, which Columbus is Franklin County. But like the mayor of Columbus is like, they don't have enough housing. Like they're outgrowing it like crazy. And of course, a lot of people want to drive. Want to work in Columbus because the pay's better, but they're living an hour out. So we've kind of when they talk about your buy box, and trying to pick a zip code, around here the zip codes are smaller. They're a lot more, and it's like you have to kind of look in several areas. It's not like a bigger, you know, city wise, like they talk like out in California with some of them out there. And obviously I don't know how big Pittsburgh is, but
Well, that's one of the things I argued with Zuber about, and he eventually ended up conceding to agreeing with me, although he won't say it,
mhm.
but or he won't say it on his channel. But I told him I was like I look over 8, 10 different zip codes in just my buy box. And Cynthia, what do you cover? Probably about the same.
Yeah.
Because
Well,
I was like,
we actually had one of your episodes where we were driving. I believe that I was actually explaining as we were going down one road, we went in a zip code, out of it, and back in and back out. And it's the borders are so irregular that you can
yeah,
have one neighborhood that has 3 different zip codes, and then you can share a zip code with 4 other neighborhoods. It's crazy, like just how the way the borders are here.
Right. That's kind of where I'm at. Like I'm in the south end of my county, so within 5 minutes I can be in Scioto County, I could be in Gallia County, I could be in Lawrence County. So I can be in 3 different counties and within 5 minutes. So
hmm
Mhm.
obviously each little the counties there, there's all these other little burgs, little neighborhoods, and it's like they all have a zip code. And so I guess for me, I see the zip code, your buy box, but to me, I would look at it as more like, and someone could probably argue with me, but I would say more like square miles. I would be looking at a mileage thing. really for me.
Well, plus too, you're still in the Appalachian Mountains a little bit too. So it's
Hmm.
like so it's like any river, any mountain, there's a county line, and by being on top of the hill, you're now in a different zip code.
Yep.
Yeah, I just look at a map now. I really don't pay attention to zip codes.
I've forgotten how steep those hills are over by you, Steve. And I was coming down that I was I was following you, and I was like I was like I forgot how bad I hate driving these roads over here.
You're telling me when I first moved here, holy crap, dude.
And my frontier doesn't turn very well. Like I was thinking the whole time, it's like if I would have known I was going up these goat hills, I would have brought the Silverado. It turned way better.
What
That's
area
shocking, man.
is it?
Yeah.
He lives over by that. He looks down on that taco grocery store that we like over.
A Beachview, Brookline area?
Yep, I'm in
I was trying
Beachview.
not to say it, but yeah.
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 Yeah. I went to school at Brashear. I graduated from Brashear.
Oh wow. It must have changed a lot, hasn't it?
I haven't been there for don't want to admit when how
Oh
many
no. Okay.
anniversaries of my graduation there's been.
It's a cool neighborhood. I like it. And
Yeah, you got a lot of good Latin cuisine around there. Tons.
oh yeah. Oh yeah. Then you got Dormont, right? I'm closer to Dormont than I actually am to like
Okay.
that area. So
Yeah.
I mean Dormont's got some pretty good restaurants too.
It's funny. There must be a pizza place below his house then because I was standing on the back porch going that shed he was talking about earlier. And I was like, I smell pizza.
Well, just as we were talking about zip codes, like there is because I looked at houses in Dormont and Dormont, part of Westwood and part of Robinson Township all share the same zip code. And then there's part of Robinson that have McKees Rocks zip code.
Yeah, I heard about
It's
that.
yeah.
That was confusing, man. Because I was talking to a guy, he's like, "Oh, I'm in Robinson." I was like, "Isn't that where McKees Rock is?" He's like, same zip code. I was like, "Oh, wow, okay." And then you have also have Moon Township over there, or something like that.
Mhm.
So what's everybody's class like their the neighborhood classes like you in the B C's what's everyone kind of looking into in Pittsburgh or just looking
I'd
for
s- I say I'm probably more BC. Uh, Cynthia's probably steady B.
There's not a lot of Class A really around the area, I would
Unless you
say.
go to like a
Um,
big name, like a
you
big
only
name
got
this
like
area.
maybe two or three neighborhoods tops around here. Except for you have some very diverse neighborhoods. So I
Hmm.
grew up in Mount Washington, and I've always joked it's an area where you could buy a house for $10,000 and cross the street and buy one for $40 million. It's probably one of the most diverse neighborhoods in the world, I would think. But it's really so mixed up there. You can get some of these brand new houses up there are huge, expensive, gorgeous houses, and then they even have condos up there. I mean, the Trimont building has penthouse suites up there. On top of Monterey Fish Grotto, there's penthouse suites there too. But then there's a lot of these bigger, older houses that sell for $20,000 and $30,000, and it's like they literally are in the same block, walking block.
Hmm.
Um, so it really just depends. Like I said, even our like the few Class A neighborhoods that we have here. I mean, you're a 2 miles or 1.5 miles away from where you could be in a Class C neighborhood, just like two miles down the road.
Yeah, yeah, because like I can name probably six Class A neighborhoods in the area, and they're all probably less than 2 miles from a Class C area. So
Yeah,
you'd have Scott Township, Mount Lebanon, Green Tree, and within 2 miles you have Carnegie for all of them. And
Hmm.
Carnegie can be depending on where you're at. Carnegie's hit and miss, but I say that they're bringing it around pretty nicely, and it's a lot more. It's a lot more B than it is C.
I would beg to differ. It depends on where you are in Carnegie, and really, it's the same thing with McKees Rocks. There's parts of McKees Rocks where you can buy a
Yeah.
two-bedroom townhouse for a
Yeah.
$500,000, and then you can buy, a $10,000 house, five-bedroom house. It's another one of those just very, very diverse neighborhoods, and it could be a half a mile away. Like there's a housing complex, and then right down the road is, your class C/D, even D neighborhood,
Hmm.
Yeah.
like just a half mile away, and they're in the same zip code and same neighborhood, same grocery store.
Because even like
So
Fox
very diverse
Chapel, you have Blawnox and Etna just
here.
Right
like
there.
2-3 miles down the road.
And then Shady Side too.
Yeah.
The only one I
There's
can't
parts
think.
of Shady Side that are shady also.
It's funny, yeah.
As I said, I think everything's very diverse because we even look at like the Wilkinsburg area is known to be a not so nice area. However, there are a couple mansions in that area too. Even if we look like in the Crafton area, well, there's Bankers Row in Crafton where those houses are like well up like almost $2 million a piece, and the neighbors right across the street have a $50,000 house. And I think there's so many neighborhoods in Pittsburgh that are like that. There's just tons of them.
Yeah, I have never been to Pittsburgh. My youngest son is a Steelers fan, always has been, and I think he's been to a couple games over there, but I've never went.
Yeah, come
Oh,
visit, man.
I would like. I
you'll
would
love
like.
it. You'll get to sit out in the cold and the yellow sea with the wind blowing off the river, being sucked into whatever it's called, Acrisure Stadium.
Yeah.
You get to freeze, and it'll be a fun time.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I love going to the Pirates games personally. Warmer weather, you just have to watch out for exploding hot dogs. I've learned.
Huh.
What?
I'll take us off topic here for a second. So I was still in high school at the time, and you know those shirt cans that they shoot T-shirts out.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I'm sitting there. I'm not really paying attention. I just see the parrot jumping around and stuff and just shooting things. I'm not paying attention to what he's doing. And next thing I know, I'm getting hit in the chest. Felt like I was getting hit in the chest with like a baseball or something. I look, it's a hot dog. It's a chili nacho cheese dog. Just exploded all over my chest.
Oh my god.
So
No
you
way.
see me on the jumbotron doing like a what the face.
Oh man. Never going back there ever again after that. No, I'm joking.
I just don't sit in that section anymore.
Smart. Yeah, I still gotta go to like a Steelers game, Penguins game, Pirates game, but that'll
The
be for
Pirates games
another
are
day.
fun, but just don't plan on them winning.
Yeah. Okay.
Who you like out there, Andy?
Well, I mean, obviously, we grew up Cincinnati Reds and the Bengals. Uh, Never, you can't brag about them a whole lot most of the time. Now, obviously, the Bengals are playing the Steelers this weekend, so I do have to root for Burrow. He actually didn't. He actually only grew up probably an hour away from here. So
Wow.
I actually seen him. He was actually still like he was in like sixth grade. It's called the TVC League, Tri Valley Conference, and he played for Athens, and the school that my youngest son played Pee Wee football for. Um, they used to be in a league where they played like all the River City teams, and they would always get their butts handed to them because we just didn't have a big school, and we switched to the TVC League, and he my youngest son he would have been in third grade, somewhere through, and Burrow was just like sixth grade then, and we got to see him play. He it was just weird to watch him play. It's just like you see this little skinny kid out there, and man, he could just wing it. And then we actually seen him. Our local county team played him in a championship game one time, in high school, and Athens just demolished them. I mean, they look like a small uh, college team. It was a year that they all like Burrow right now has got his hair dyed blonde. That's what they done his senior year. Him and these receivers and these running backs, they all dyed their hair blonde, and so it was pretty wild. But yeah, he was a pretty he was just as laid back. There's a guy, one of his coaches. I think what his name, Sam Smathers was his name, and he actually has he lives on the backside of the scoreboard of Athens High School, and his garage is right there, so he could watch the football game, from his garage. But that's where he was real big into the TVC Pee Wee football program, and he would have the meetings was held in his garage. So we would
Wow, that's
go up
fun.
there to his garage to have the meetings and stuff, which was pretty neat. He's actually on some of the interviews. Burrows, I think, when he won Heisman and stuff. Sam's kind of a short, heavy-set guy, glasses, kind of reddish face and stuff, but he's a good guy. Sam was a good guy.
I mean, that's dedication right there, man.
Oh yeah, it was pretty wild. It was just neat, you see somebody like that come, and his dad was a coach at a high university, so they was wanting him to go there, but but no, like I said, now another question I had was like, you guys ever invested around any type of military bases? Because that's my youngest son right now is in the military, and like any time that he transfers to another base, like they can only live on base for so long with like if they're higher ranking, and they encourage them to move off base so that they can younger ranks can live in the housing on base, and like a lot of them go together and rent Airbnbs like midterm rentals, which is kind of shocking.
Wow.
Yeah, I just heard about that today, that like some people will set up pad splits. That's what I was trying to think of earlier. They'll buy a pad split near like a base or something, and they'll buy it in the intention of making like 8 bedrooms out of it, and then like a shared common area.
Mm-hmm. I think at one time he's had like four roommates. I think they all shared. He was in San Antonio for like 6 months, 6 7 months, and he only lived on base for like a few weeks, and then they all went together and got an Airbnb, and that's where they lived at. And he said like basically what the military would pay him to live off base, and he said it was enough to they could all split it and still have a nicer area. You know what I mean? And most of those down there already had utilities and stuff kind of included. I think was kind of the way he talks, but
Mhm.
he's stationed in Nevada now, in northern Nevada, and we've kind of looked up and through there because we've kind of trying to encourage him a little bit too to you got to get an asset, not a liability. And you got to look at some of that stuff because he's obviously lived it, so he knows what these guys are doing. And like housing and cars, these guys come to these bases for training. They may be there for 6 months. They want a vehicle or something, and they'll buy something and then sell it for next to nothing. And whenever they transfer out.
Yeah, it'd be good for him to get something.
Yeah.
I was just I wanted to double check something before I spoke about it. Dion's talked about it a couple times about different people, but you can reuse your VA loan. And that one person, I forget what her name was, she was on Zuber's channel one time, but she used her VA loan like 5 times, I think it was, And what she did was she'll use the VA, fix it up and stuff, and do like a live-in house hack, kind of like what Cynthia's doing. And then after she was going to get restationed, she refinanced it, and then wait like another year and go buy another one and do the same thing over and over again.
I can't remember what there's a there's some information on it. I can't remember what it is, and there's something too, like if they sell it to somebody else that's in the military, it has their VA loan. I can't remember. I, we had it in. I took my real estate uh, classes through Hondros, and I've never taken the state or national test yet, but I can't remember. And it's been like 2 years. But I can't remember how that VA loan works. But it's like you said, they can reuse it, but there's some steps, some processes that they have to do, and I just can't remember. But they pay those guys like he makes next to nothing. It's crazy. But he has he's he's in the Navy, but he's a military police. So I think they call him Master at Arms in the Navy. But he's like a low rank officer. I don't even remember now what he's an E4, but I don't remember what MA3. So he's something third class. Everything's an abbreviation, and he gets frustrated when you ask him questions. So he gets frustrated about it. So it's like I just go with it. But he's a military dog handler, is what it is. So
I'm trying to find that video. I'm not having much luck.
Well, what are you guys' plans for this year?
I would like to get this first one renovated and rented, and do. I'm probably looking at a cash out refinance to try to recoup my money and then use it put down towards another. I would like to have two rentals by the end of 25. That would be
Oh, nice.
my goal. That would be complete the one that I have and have it rented, and then be into something else.
Yeah, I'm in the same spot. I kind of want to get my second property by 2025, but we'll see. It just all depends on what's going to happen.
Yeah, there's banks are kind of see the property that I live on. I have 4 acres, and there's like four sewer hookups.
Oh wow!
So I've kind of looked at that build to rent stuff. Banks are kind of weird right now. A new construction. So,
Have you ever thought about doing like RV hookups or anything like that?
we have. I don't know that there's how much it would be in the area that I live in. I mean, I live. There's a lot of hunting here, a lot of white, and I actually live right across the road from the backside of it's Wayne National Forest, but it's not the best access to it. They have to kind of go around private property to get on it, so it's not the best access to it. So I don't know. We've thought about that, doing some RV hookups or something, but it seemed like when COVID was going on, there was a lot more people coming from Columbus, Cincinnati to this area to get to, I guess way. But now it's kind of it's slowed way up.
Okay. I mean, you looked at it, so
and we have like a huge Amish community as well. A lot of people like to look at all that stuff too, but I look at it more as they can. I look at them differently because, like I said, I deal with the roads and stuff, and they just flat tear up a road. But they're good people, but they're starting to pay a little bit of incentives now to. They understand that they're using the road and they are doing damage, but
Mm.
they still don't pay like Holmes County in northern Ohio, northeast Ohio, kind of mid northeast, I guess. But they like they have a fund. They call it the Ohio Steering Committee, and it's basically an Amish. They handle all their money throughout the state. Like Holmes County gets like close to $200,000 a year from their Amish population, but Holmes County it's all tourism from they call that Amish country. Like they probably have the top. Holmes County and Wayne County probably have the top two uh, highest populations in Ohio.
Oh, okay.
And like down where we're at, I don't think I think we're in the top 10, but I think we're at the bottom end of it. I'm not really for sure where we are at, but no, we don't have the tourism near as what they have up there.
I'm not sure like exactly what your property looks like for like camping type of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But if you had an idea of even if you could put like even a facility that was like bathroom, showering, and did camp, there's a website that's actually really popular for people that just travel and camp rather than stay in hotels. It's called Hip Camp. It's HIPCAMP. And that's like the best advertisement. And you see a lot of people that just, seasonally will, that are on, if you're on a couple acres of land, only have even like 3 or 4 camp spots. And they, will charge for them, and those go pretty well. Just something to think about. Even if it doesn't have plumbing and you have land there, it can make money.
Right. Yeah, because all I do with it now is mow the grass, and like that's 3 hours a week that I don't get back.
Because even if you did something like that temporarily until you got to further along where you can do other stuff.
Yeah. Did you think even like if you have a tree line and you have to cut trees down, you could end up selling that firewood to the people that are camping there, and just a lot of different stuff you could do with it.
I mean, we have to like chase the deer out of our yard all the time. So I mean, we have a lot of deer, a lot of does. We have a lot of babies in the spring, so they're always out and about. And we got our pet lamb. We bought her a couple years ago. We were getting Mother's Day flowers, and I had this black. I always said I was the black sheep of the family, and she was all black and had a white mohawk. We bought her, and so she roams around here like a dog. I think they named her Cruella. Yeah, that's pretty good information. I pulled that up now, that Hip Camp, just to kind of look at it. But yeah, like I said, it's flat down there, so I mean I can hold probably 4 to 6 easily.
Because even if you shop for like a 7% vacancy at like, I don't know what's reasonable out there. I'm just kind of pulling numbers. $20 a night. Let's see, for 36 weeks at 70% occupancy. I don't have my calculator on me.
That would be 50, it'd be 10, so probably 13. That'd be 1,300. Maybe $3,500. So I mean that's for it not being used and me just mowing grass. Yes, that would definitely.
Yeah, it doesn't sound too bad.
And we just got into Starlink internet here because Frontier was terrible, and the Starlink is like super crazy fast.
Yeah, they say it's pretty good.
Yeah, one of my cousins uses it. I think he's working on a chicken farm, and he said it's pretty nice.
Yeah, we when we first got this house, we were going to do we was going to make Airbnb out of it just because of the deer hunting. Because I mean, there is um, the so like the Bob Evans Farm Festival. I'm sure you know the Bob Evans restaurants.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So the original Bob Evans farm and the original restaurant is like 35 minutes from us. So
Oh, okay.
they have a big farm festival every year in October, and like it's crazy packed. So I mean, we looked at like thought about doing Airbnb on that, but then like I said, the bottom has just fell out of Airbnb. That's what we were going to initially do with that house, and then I took a different job at work, and it required a whole lot more time, and then we never got into it, and then the money was a lot better. Then of course we lived higher on the hog, I guess. So and then once you had to reel yourself back in, and that's kind of where it's like this thing needs to pay for itself. Like we're sitting over there paying for it. Alligator.
That's understandable. Gotta do that first.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not too excited for that for this year, but hopefully we make some progress.
So to get this house done, I'll have I got to do the drywall. Got to hang drywall. I got to run the water lines in the wall, and then start some cabinets and that. Just my goal with it would be hopefully have it ready in spring, into March, April, to have it ready to go. I hope.
Nice.
But the other thing is hard to say. Like I look on Zillow, but Zillow doesn't show a whole lot of rents in this area. It shows them closer around Columbus and everything to get some accurate stuff. But our rents down here are kind of low, really. So that's one reason why I hate to invest a whole lot locally, around me, unless it was just too good of a deal to pass up. But
Hmm. You
Well,
checked it like oh, but
I'll say, what about trailer pads? Like, what do they cost to set up? I know out here they're about 15K. You can get a decent used trailer for about another 15K.
mhm.
Is that are those numbers applicable to your area, neck of the woods?
I would say yeah, it would probably be close. Like I said, the doing the concrete and stuff in here, it's probably $200, a little over $200 a yard, and it just depends on what would that be, 14 by say 14 by 80. That would be a large one. That'd be 1,100 square foot times 80. Should be 80, about 15, probably 15 yards of concrete, 3,000 $3,000, and then you'd have some stone, probably $500 or $600 in stone. Um, the Amish down here, they you can get them to do some work for you, fairly reasonable.
I'll say that might be the cheapest way to make a much quicker profit.
There's actually a property right across the road from me that the house is. It's actually family. I'm trying to let I'm showing interest in it that I would like to buy it. That's what we were going to do over there. But we've also looked at like you can. I think I talked to Hunter on the community. He's in
Oh,
South
yeah,
Carolina.
yeah, Hunter's real good.
He was asking me about, because he was talking about the build to rent stuff, and I said, he's looking at the pole barns because they're super cheap. You can be in them for like 20,000. It's all, it's like brand new, but you have to do a slab, and
Mhm.
we've even looked at like those Elon Musk homes and like those. I would like to see one first, because you can have them delivered for like 15, 18,000.
Oh
You
wow.
can, they're on Amazon too. You can buy an Amazon house.
Yeah, we were like, I've seen them as cheap on Amazon as $10,000. But I would like to see one before I would, you know what I mean, before you would invest in it. You know what I mean, to make the commitment on it. But I haven't seen or heard of anybody around here that has done it. But like, and, we thought about that. Do you do something like that? And you set a few of them up. Eventually, I'm not going to live in this area, like where I'm at. I would like to um, downsize a little bit, or 3 bedroom, 2 bath, and um, 2 kids in college and one in the military. So they're not home as much. So I wouldn't care just to downsize. We actually took the vinyl siding off our house and done the metal, so it looks like the barn dominiums. We done the metal siding and metal roof. Turned out really nice. Whole lot less headache and maintenance.
I like when they put or where I go camping and stuff. I like when they do the brown siding, and then
Mm-hmm.
they still keep like the green, like forest green accents and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Wayne, they call it wainscoting.
I think so.
Trying to think. I don't think. I'm not really good on this whole Zoom thing, but I don't know how you can share, or if you can even share pictures. I don't know how that works. I had some before and after pictures of our house. It had vinyl siding. We had hail damage, and then we actually that's what we done. Ours is 2-tone gray. It's wainscoting. It's lighter gray on the top and darker gray on the bottom, and then the roof is a little bit different shade of gray.
Well, if it's okay with everyone, for this event, is everyone okay if we go ahead and close things up for this one?
Yeah, it'd be fine. I might get ready to.
Yep.
All right. Uh, Andy, thank you for joining us on this is your first time here. We definitely hope to see you again.
Okay, I appreciate the invite. So hopefully we can do some more.
Yeah, we do this every 2 weeks.
Okay.
Thank you, everyone.
All right. Thank you.
Yep. Thank you guys. Nice
Have a good
meeting you,
one.
Andy.
Yeah, nice meeting you too, Stephen.
It was good meeting you.
And you too, Cynthia.
Hey, thank you guys.
Yep. See ya.